woman's loyalty is not measured in the glow of your success, but in the silence of your downfall. When your hands are full of gold and your name is whispered with respect, it is easy for anyone to speak of love, of devotion, of undying support. But that is not loyalty. That is comfort disguised as care. The truth is this: loyalty, like metal, must be tested in fire. In moments where your power wanes, where your influence is threatened, where the world no longer claps for your presence. Observe who remains, who speaks gently in your absence, who shields your name rather than profit from its decay. Most will not, for most were never there for you. They were there for what clung to you. Women who adore a man in triumph often do so because of what his triumph represents: access, security, validation, the illusion of safety. But when the winds change, and that illusion shatters, only then does her true posture become visible. It is in loss that the scales fall from her eyes. And yours. In misfortune, she is forced to confront a man not veiled in abundance, but naked in struggle. And here is where the wise man watches closely. Does she recoil, shift blame, show contempt? Or does she tighten her grip on his hand and look outward, ready to war beside him, not against him? The sentimental fool clings to the image of a woman's wards when times were sweet. The strategist waits to judge until time has soared. He knows that the battlefield reveals what the bedroom conceals. Do not mistake softness for solidarity. Do not confuse sexual intimacy with spiritual allegiance. The moment your armor is cracked, the opportunist begins her withdrawal, carefully packaged in excuses. And the dangerous ones will stay just long enough to drain the last of your strength before disappearing into the arms of another victor. This is not bitterness. This is discernment. If a woman has never seen you fail, you have no measure of her loyalty. If you have never been weak in her presence, you have not truly seen her strength. A man must create the conditions where masks are removed. This does not mean manufacturing suffering, but it means observing her when your resources are stretched. Simply withdraw. When your options are limited, when your name does not glitter in gold but drips with the dirt of daily struggle. The woman who does not flinch in these moments, the one who becomes sharper, calmer, more anchored, is the one forged for something greater. Beauty is the most deceiving of currencies, for it is the most common among illusions. Men throughout history have fallen not by sword or betrayal alone, but by the curve of a smile and the shine of skin mistaken for substance. The man who seeks to rise cannot afford to choose based on appearances, because appearances are what everyone sees, and what everyone sees, everyone wants. The woman whose beauty turns heads may feed your pride for a moment, but she also awakens the hunger of others, creating a battlefield of endless validation where you are forced to compete not for her affection, but to maintain your relevance. She becomes less a partner, more a symbol, and symbols attract worship that is rarely pure. But the rarest kind of woman is not the one most seen, it is the one most misunderstood. Her power lies not in her exposure, but in her restraint. She does not parade herself for public consumption, she hides her depth beneath still waters. She does not chase attention because she understands that mystery commands more than beauty ever could. When a woman is rare in spirit, when she possesses dignity, self-control, and a mind that cannot be predicted, she becomes impossible to replace. She becomes the anomaly, the one others speak of in whispers but can never claim. This kind of woman elevates a man's clarity. She does not seduce by skin, she seduces by silence. She is the storm hidden in calm seas. She is the strategy behind the smile. The average man is lured by what is offered freely. He cannot help but reach for the woman everyone admires, because he believes her desirability is proof of value. But value is never found where crowds gather. Value is always hidden, often overlooked, and only pursued by those who recognize it. Choose the woman who is pursued by few not because she lacks beauty, but because she reveals it only to the worthy. The one who watches more than she speaks, who tests a man's vision rather than flatters his ego. She is not rare because she is unknown. She is rare because she makes herself known to only a select few. To build power, a man must surround himself not with ornaments, but with assets. A woman of rarity is an asset because she reflects the same principles he lives: big discipline, restraint, focus, elevation. She will not be a distraction to his mission. She will be the quiet force behind it. Her beauty is a byproduct of her being, not her weapon. The man who seeks her is not looking for attention. He is looking for legacy. A woman who seeks to control a man does not seek to love him. She seeks to own him. Her affection is not a gift but a tool, sharpened not with care but calculation. She may present herself as supportive, nurturing, even gentle, But beneath the softness lies a contract written in invisible ink: comply or be punished. She rewards submission with praise, punishes independence with withdrawal, and disguises her dominance as emotional intelligence. She does not want a man. She wants a subordinate wearing a man's skin. And many fall willingly into this trap, trading their power for peace, their clarity for comfort, and their voice for validation. They believe appeasement will buy harmony, but in truth, it only deepens their captivity. This kind of woman is rarely loud in her domination. Her control comes through small concessions or decisions you let her make because you are tired. Boundaries you allow her to cross because you fear conflict. Compromises you justify because you mistake love for sacrifice. Over time, she shapes the world around you, not with violence, but with gentle persistence. She creates a mirror of your life where everything reflects her desires. And when you look in that mirror long enough, you forget the shape of your own reflection. You begin to believe that silence is strength, that comfort is purpose, that peace at home is worth the erosion of your spine. But this is not peace. It is quiet tyranny. The wise man does not seek war in his household, but neither does he allow a coup. He understands that partnership must be built on respect, not manipulation. A woman who cannot respect your authority, your direction, or your mission will eventually undermine it. And it does not matter how attractive she is, how sweet she sounds, or how intimate your connection appears. If she sees you as her project instead of her partner, you will become smaller by the year. You will not recognize yourself, and worse, no one else will recognize the man you used to be. Her control is subtle, but its effects are absolute. You begin to ask for permission instead of giving direction. You begin to explain instead of declare. You begin to negotiate your non-negotiables, and in doing so, you teach her that your power is flexible, that your principles are optional. From that moment forward, you are no longer her equal. You are her possession. And once a woman sees you as something she can shape, she will never again look at you as someone she must follow. The most dangerous woman is not the one who lies, but the one who tells you what you want to hear. She studies you not with admiration, but with intent. She listens not to understand your soul, but to memorize your weaknesses. She knows that truth rarely seduces, but flattery does. So she offers you not honesty, but a mirror distorted just enough to keep your ego swollen and your eyes blind. She will nod when you are wrong, agree when you are foolish, and encourage your illusions because your ignorance is her advantage. The man who surrounds himself with sweet lies is not loved. He is being prepared for collapse, and the fall is always greater when you've been climbing a ladder held by someone who wants you to slip. Such a woman is not concerned with your growth. Growth would make you difficult to control. She prefers you as you are, predictable, dependent, slightly insecure. If you ever begin to rise in awareness or sharpen in discernment, she will subtly shift her behavior. She will withhold warmth, question your changes, plant doubts about your path. She may even suggest you are being distant or different, not because you are becoming worse, but because you are becoming stronger. Her concern is not that she is losing you, it is that she is losing her grip. The illusion she built was never about you being great. It was about you being manageable, and many men fall into this trap, mistaking harmony for loyalty. They confuse agreement with intimacy, and they reward manipulation with access. But a man who is praised too easily should be suspicious. A woman who never challenges you, never calls you to a higher standard, never points out your blind spots, is not being kind, she is being strategic. She understands that a man who is never sharpened will eventually dull himself. He will confuse stagnation for stability and comfort for love. And when that man is no longer useful, she will discard him without warning, for he no longer offers the illusion of dominance she once craved. The wise man chooses a woman who speaks the truth even when it cuts. He does not seek a yes woman, but one who can see the angles he cannot. Her value is not in her agreement, but in her accuracy. She strengthens him not through comfort, but through challenge. She forces him to examine himself, to refine, to confront the parts he prefers to ignore. This kind of woman is not always easy to be with, but she is impossible to replace. Because she is not molding a puppet, she is standing beside a king. A woman's desire is rarely spoken outright. It is cloaked in behavior, signaled in silence, hidden in contradictions. To understand her truth, one must ignore her words and study her actions. She may claim she wants kindness, but reward dominance. She may speak of loyalty, yet gravitate toward those who withhold it. This paradox is not hypocrisy, it is instinct. Her nature is drawn not to what makes her feel safe in theory, but to what makes her feel alive in reality. Power attracts her more than promises. Status seduces her more than sincerity. The man who attempts to win her with obedience will find himself exhausted and unchosen. The one who governs himself with strength and does not beg for her love becomes the object she cannot resist. A man must never shape himself to fit a woman's spoke ideal. He must remain firm in his values, clear in his mission, unyielding in his boundaries. The moment he begins to perform for approval, he ceases to be a man and becomes a puppet. And women, though they may enjoy the attention of a puppet, never love one. They may keep him around, use him, flatter him, but they will never respect him. Desire without respect is not love, it is utility, and when that utility expires, so does the illusion of intimacy. Women test men constantly, though they may not even know they are doing it. They push buttons, question decisions, delay submission, not because they seek chaos, but because they seek confirmation. They want to feel that the man they are with cannot be moved by emotion, cannot be manipulated by affection, cannot be derailed by charm. His strength must be proven not in the absence of temptation, but in the face of it. The man who bends to please loses the very edge that made him desirable. The one who holds frame, who walks away when disrespected, who remains cold when necessary, becomes the enigma she cannot decode. This is not cruelty. It is structure. A woman needs to know that her man can lead not only her, but himself. If he cannot say no, enforce distance, or walk alone, he will never be perceived as a leader. And the one thing a woman cannot truly desire is a man she must lead. She may direct him temporarily, but she will tire of him eventually. She may enjoy the power for a time, but it will curdle into contempt, because deep down, no woman wants to feel like the strongest one in the room when she is in the arms of a man who seeks to understand women must first understand power, its presence, its absence, and its illusion. Women are not drawn to men who surrender their essence for approval, nor do they admire those who parade false strength. What commands lasting attraction is a man rooted in unshakable purpose, unwilling to compromise his mission for fleeting emotion. He must walk with discipline, speak with clarity, and lead with silent confidence. He must see through the masks worn in romance, the games disguised as affection, and the tests posed as conversation. She does not want to guide him. She wants to be guided. She does not want to teach him. She wants to trust him. In every look, in every challenge, she is asking one question. Are you strong enough to lead or weak enough to follow? Only the man who can endure the question without seeking her validation is worthy of her desire, for he is the one she will never dare to conquer.